It's very easy to crap on Met Council because a lot of people do it, but there's reasons that is the case. And when you have an unelected body that makes these large of decisions, and when they announce their decision after the legislature conveniently ended, and they want to have it done by January before the legislature starts again, that's very telling itself, because they are trying to cut out the elected representatives from them basically undoing billions of dollars worth of infrastructure that isn't even 20 years old. And so that, I think, is what's this whole process has rubbed me the wrong way. And I think it's rubbed our legislators locally the wrong way as well, because it's very deliberate in how this is being done, and it's not taking into account all these people. And when you don't have those conversations and you don't have an open process, despite what they say about having public hearings, that's when this stuff gets missed. That's when people don't think about these things, because you haven't vetted the proposal. I mean, to create this, it took a long time. I mean, idea was out there probably for decades, but even when things started, it was a decade or more to do this. And it's trying to be undone in 6 months or whatnot. And to me, it's completely ridiculous. So it's not the solution. I just needed to vent a little bit because it's really frustrating me. Councilmember Weaver.
I'm disappointed in the Met Council. I would use better words than crap, but I won't.
13 here.
It's a 4-letter word, too. I agree that they're trying to do this between legislative sessions so the legislature can't speak. Maybe the 4 or 5 cities that are part of this that all have the same quandaries should join together, sue the Met Council, and try to get an injunction that would slow this down till the legislature starts. And it would throw a wrench in that they couldn't get through, and maybe some smart legislators would see that they're making a very bad mistake before we buy a Northstar train car on Facebook Marketplace, So, because there isn't a good option. You look at that; they already have the red lines on the pavers where the electric service comes in. They're ready to tear it out. They're ready to go. And I rode that train on Saturday to the game, and that thing was packed. And you could just hear it even when the engineer talked to the passengers coming on and off the train. They know that this thing's doomed, and it was just a different feeling. And there were people counting people. I don't know who it was, but it wasn't somebody from it wasn't a conductor. It was somebody in street clothes that was counting. So I don't know what's up with what somebody's trying to do, but maybe they need a little shot over the bow, and maybe the 5 cities should get together and put a halt on this thing. Wouldn't be hard to do till the legislature acts, because you may get a legislature that says, "Hey, this is getting rid of that." Just a short story, but my wife and I just got back from Europe. We rode the train all over. We rode the train in Germany. We rode the train from Heathrow down to Paddington Square in central London, and I just saw what it cost. It was $40 a piece round trip. On the train on Sunday or Saturday, when we went to the game, for 4 of us, it was $13. There's something wrong with how they've structured all this. So, and you look at the train in Europe; those things are packed at Heathrow. It's crazy how many people use the train and travel by the train. And same with Germany. I mean, the things are packed all the time. So, I think we're making a mistake tearing out all this infrastructure. As Eric said, it is brand new. It's in great shape, and it's going to come back. I mean, yes, it's being subsidized heavily by taxpayers, but sort of those road miles because building a lane of traffic isn't cheap either. So you've already got the infrastructure in place. I think just better management on times, when it runs, and how it gets people back and forth. They missed this from the get-go, and they couldn't figure it out. But you look at the special event trains, whether it's a Twins train or a Vikings train or other ones, when they did holiday trains down to the Union Depot, or they used to go to Holodazzles. It was crazy busy. So they've really missed out. I don't want to take any of the options. I want it to stay.
I don't put words. Okay, I saw you moving, Councilmember Campbell.
I'm just thinking of Councilman Weaver's suggestion. What would it take for us to have a conversation with the other cities and see if we can always get an injunction.
Let it get back into the legislative session time so they can start to talk about it again.
Right. I'm looking at our attorney, but before we do that I think at minimum, just trying to get all of us together to see where everybody's at. I mean, staff-wise, I know there's been discussions, but I don't think it's been, hey, maybe we got to be this tip of the spear to have these conversations with some of these other jurisdictions, because that's the game that's being played right now, as they're trying to get it done without as many people weighing in as possible.
That's it.
And even today, I went out there to look at this, and I hadn't been in there for a little bit of while, but there's not 5 cars there anymore. There was 45 cars there today. Because
on a Monday.
I had a neighbor tell me, he's like, "Yep, my work just started 5 days a week back downtown again," and so you're getting more and more of that. And I think that's another reason they're trying to do it is they want to use the numbers when they were poor to be able to justify this. So I'm in favor of looking at that option, definitely, for sure. And maybe if council's direction would be to speak with these other cities and know that is maybe work with the legal counsel to look at whatever options those are. I know there's smart attorneys in some of those other cities as well. I'm sure they've had their discussions, but maybe having a discussion with them as well to see how we would want to go about that. But as was said, it's moving quick. So whether that's to come back to us at an official meeting or a work session, please know there's some haste that's involved with this. So council, are we okay with directing staff to talk to other cities and see if there's a legal option available to us?
I'm fine with it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm seeing 5 nods. Do you want to weigh in anything at this point, or do you want to hold your powder
Hold your
there,
cards
sir?
close.
No, I mean, as we were talking, I'm starting to try and think of legal theories upon which to get the injunction, whether it's a detrimental reliance or a promissory estoppel, or what bothers me about this is the investment that the city had in the parking ramp itself based upon this, I'll use the word promise, of Northstar. And now they're going away, and we're left with our own infrastructure to nowhere, basically. And that's what's kind of bothering me about this, is this reliance upon this promise that was made, and the investment by the city of time and staff and money and everything else. Whether it's a viable legal theory that can move forward, I don't know. That just kind of came to the top of my head. But it does seem that the city was sold on something, and now they're taking it away. And yet we're left here with, what are we going to do with this? I know that the agreement between Met Council and BNSF, I believe, is if the Northstar ever discontinued, so too does the Met Council's lease rights. And part of the discussion, we've been meeting with Met Council folks and trying to work through this. Part of the thought was, at least relative to the South Tower, okay, Met Council has the lease. Could they assign that to the city if we needed to keep it, and would BNSF agree to that? Well, if not, Mr. Mayor, just as you pointed out, if that tower goes, well, now they've just thrown our ramp into a non-conforming structure. So, that's yet another thing to keep in mind as well. And if we have to keep it, should Met Council take part in some of the maintenance? I mean, the maintenance of these things are going to be astronomical as well, with the elevator costs and all of that. It's even just associated with just the South Tower. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, other than, here you go, City of Anoka, take this on, and we're good. We're going to do buses now. There's more questions, I think, that should be asked. But the timing, you're right. They are moving quick.
Well, let's get the smart attorneys working, Mr. Mayor, and show them we're a little smarter than they are.